Hi everybody, how you doing? I was invisible for a moment, but now I'm here. I'm like a ghost. Ooh. Okay, but no, seriously though. I'm Paps, a rising VTuber and an artist, and today we're going to be working on an Artfight piece. We're going to be working on one for Wario. For Wario? I cannot remember. I think that's how you pronounce it. I think it is just Wario. Wari.os. A very cool person who has a very cool design, who is also a VTuber, I should add. And we're going to be working on that today. So, let's head to the work area. Alright, here we go. Let me just tuck myself away into my little corner here. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so yeah, as you can see, they've got a very cool design. I really like the colors. The colors more than anything. I love just like bright colors. Alright, let's see here. Okay. So first of all, the pose, right? Okay, we'll try to figure that out. Yeah, recently I went and re-downloaded all the downloadable assets that I've accumulated in Clip Studio. The thing is, right, I've run Clip Studio on a total of like 3 computers by now. So I've actually got quite a few downloaded things stocked up. You can see here that I've got like a bunch of people like just sitting down or like in different poses and everything. And I recently re-downloaded those materials to play around with and, you know, generally just have fun with. So I'm very excited to put them to use. I've found some good ones too. I'm very happy with how I'm getting these together. All right, so yeah, I think these are supposed to be like idle poses, which are fun. Why are there so many of them? Well, I'm not complaining. It's just extra. You know, más que eso sobre a que fa falte. Better to have too much than have too little. Oh, I see. There's male and female versions. That's interesting. Let's keep going, though. Oh, look. Wood. Yeah, like I said, I have a lot of things here. Let's see what else we got. Jesus, look at how low the stance is. Hang on, let's just pop that in here just for kicks. Look at how low this stance is. This dude is going for a nut shot. I don't think this other foot's even touching the ground. It isn't. I think it's only one of the feet that is touching the ground for this pose. That is hilarious. Oh, hey, wait, hang on. This one might be good. Okay, I think this one kind of fits the whole kind of. I think the design as a whole almost has this kind of mystical vibe. You know, I think it's like the flaming eyeball that gives it kind of like an angel vibe. If that's kind of the correct, if I may use the term angel vibe. I'm not sure why I wouldn't be allowed to use that term. But yeah, I feel like it kind of suits with the whole design of the character. All right. That being said, I did do another character from this angle just recently, so I think maybe one like this might be good. Okay. I think this one's doing a Hadouken. Oh no, this one's about to draw a sword. I was gonna say, I think this guy's about to do a Kamehameha wave. Alright, let's see. Kind of putting it like this. Maybe with some foreshortening? No foreshortening. But we can play around a little bit with like the pose itself. Or like with the kind of body itself. No. Maybe. Okay. So I think maybe we can go even a little bit more extreme on this angle, bring it over here. And then maybe we can do something cool with the... Hang on. I'm wondering like where I should put the cutoff point. I think here would be fine. You know, I think maybe... No, that's not the angle I want. I think it might be this one. Okay, yeah, I think this is going to be the pose. I think this is it. Okay. And if nothing else, we can always crop it so that it's only like this part over here, right? Yeah, I think that'll work. We can do that in just a bit though. We'll have to finish up the rest of the design first. We can move this up a little bit though, so the feet aren't exactly touching the ground like that. That always wicks me out, like when there's these rules, right? Very broad kind of rules when you don't remember to turn on the background music for when you're working. That was my bad. But no, there are these kind of like broad stroke rules that you can use for poses and how you kind of have them in relation to your canvas cropping. So for example, you're not supposed to cut people off at any joints. So for example, if I were to put this pose around, like say here, right? That would look kind of bad because I'm cutting off this, I'm cutting off the arm, I'm cutting off the leg, I'm cutting off this other leg. All that's left is this part here. It looks like it looks very messy, it doesn't feel good, it doesn't flow as well as like a full body pose would. But if you pay attention, like even, and hang on, even just like, if you on the other hand hid it up to around here, well, that still wouldn't work. The thing is, I've got a lot of like contrasting angles here, so I don't think it ever works. Basically, I'm always in danger of cutting something off with this pose, which is interesting. That's new. That hasn't happened before. But essentially, you don't want to cut off any part of the body exactly where the joint would be. So maybe mid thigh, around the thorax here, somewhere around there, but not the ankle or the knee or the elbow or the wrist. You don't want to crop them there. I think that's the kind of general rule of thumb that they taught me about. Yeah. The good thing about I've mentioned this before. I brought this up before. The only time I've had a proper kind of art education, where I've had like an intensive program meant for art, not just like some art school high class. No. High school art class is one summertime when I was at a cartooning course, and I had the time of my life in that course because it was the first time I'd ever been exposed to people who, like me, were internet brain rotted. I say this in the most sincerely affectionate way that I can. It is so important that if you are internet brain rotted, you expose yourself to other people who are also internet brain rotted. A lot of the reason why I'm having the time of my life with VTubing is because I know that most of the people that I engage with on this community, if I talk about like Goku or some shit, the average Joe might know like a little bit, but definitely not a lot. But if I talk about like Goku to somebody from any of the Discord servers I go to, they're like, yeah, Goku, my friend Goku, we went to Namek together. And I think it's important. I feel like that's a very big part of the feeling of community for me. It's just having people who know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay. I mean, sometimes even the shoe gets put on the other foot, and I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And it's nice. It's nice to be on the other side of that kind of interaction. People are talking stuff about Gundam, and I'm just over here putting friggin' the goof driver into a I don't friggin' know into that supreme drip jacket. It's all good, wholesome fun. I don't know what's going on, but I'm having the time of my life. Also, I probably shouldn't call him the goof driver. He was the goof pilot. That's something that's always been kind of a big question mark for me. At what point do you stop driving something, and at what point do you start piloting it? Because to me, the original kind of distinction was when you pilot something, you're like, how do I put this? Like, when you pilot something, you're moving something that flies. All right, you're steering something that's flying. But not all mechs can fly. I don't know if the Gundam can fly. I don't remember if the OG Gundam can fly. Actually, I don't even know. It's not that I remember so much as I don't know. But, not all mechs can necessarily fly, but you'd still say that you pilot a mech, right? So then I'm thinking, right, maybe it's like a matter of size. Past a certain size limit, you're no longer driving something, you're piloting it. But at the same time, that raises another question, which is, what is exactly that threshold where you're no longer piloting something, but rather, or where you're no longer driving something, but rather piloting it? Because if you think about it, a combine harvester is pretty big. You know, that's a decently big piece of equipment. But you wouldn't say you're piloting a combine harvester, right? That's not, you wouldn't say that. That's not something that you'd say. Conversely, you might say that you're piloting a submersible. Yeah, that's another kind of wrinkle in the whole kind of dichotomy for me, is the existence of boats. So if going back to kind of my original theorem, my original paradigm, so to speak. Okay, so tiny 5-year-old, 7-year-old who was just learning English PABs was like, okay, so driving is for land vehicles, and then piloting is for air vehicles. So what do you call it for water vehicles? Do you call it sailing? But no, that implies that you have like sails. You know, you wouldn't say that you're, I mean, I guess you would say that you're sailing a motor yacht, you know? I mean, I don't know if you'd say it without, like, you know, parentheses, not really using sails, sailing it, you know? I don't know. It's one of those quirky things, you know? It's one of those quirky little things that I don't feel has, like, a proper answer, because English as a language is just so absurdly weird. Okay, there we go. I mean, I was about to say, what other languages do you know where something has been said enough times that its entire meaning changed because so many people were using it sarcastically? I remember that used to be the case with the word chuffed. Yeah, it's not very American English, but British English, there's a word chuffed, which basically means, you know, it can mean one of two things. Either whatever is involved is extremely pleased or extremely displeased. And if that sounds counterintuitive to you, then that's because it is. Okay, let's see. Got some nice thick eyelashes here. Okay. I've always wondered how people who draw really nice eyelashes draw them. Because because I've always either done it like using line art or just by really piling on the ink. So kind of like this. Probably I should leave the eyelashes to a line art thing, because yeah, worst comes to worst, I can just like, again, I can just like fill them in, because the thing is, right, these lines are looking a little bit thick, so I'm probably going to width correct them later. And when that happens, it's going to, if I'm using the ink style as I was before, then that's probably not going to work out too well. You know, I'm speaking from experience here. It's gonna look super weird once it's like uncombined, essentially. Okay. Now it needs to be thinner. What I might do, actually, hang on. What I might do is just gonna copy and paste this lash here. Then kind of like this. Okay, I see now that it doesn't actually start from right around there. It actually kind of goes... It's pretty smooth up until around this point right here, at which point then it starts to really branch out. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think that should do it. Okay. So then this part right. Okay, here's what's kind of obstructing everything. There we go. I like that. I like how that looks. Okay. And we can put the fire. Okay. I really like drawing fire. There's something about it that's very kind of wavy in a very interesting way. You know, like, I feel like there's almost no wrong way to draw fire. You know, because it has such a weird ethereal property in real life, everybody has an idea of fire, but nobody knows what fire actually looks like. First of all, because it kind of hurts your eyes if you stare at it too long, on account of the light and the smoke and everything. But also because it just happens so quickly, it flashes by so quickly that, you know, even if you use a time lapse or something like that to slow down the effect, you still almost can't quite place it, which is pretty cool. In any case, this does mean that we're given pretty much artistic license to do whatever the hell we want with fire, which is also very nice. You know, a little bit of a fringe benefit there. Okay. There we go. And then we can have a couple little wisps of fire kind of coming up from here. Let's see. I have to go check on something real quick, so let me tell you about the smiley face while I go check on that. So, the original smiley face was a... There's two people who quote-unquote invented the smiley face, right? It's one of those things where one dude actually made it and the other dude trademarked it in a humongous kind of dick move. But it kind of all worked out. Well, not really, though. Essentially, the original smiley face, which kind of looks like this. We've all seen a smiley face, but this one had, like, much smaller eyes and, like, a much wider mouth, and it was bright yellow and everything. That one was made by Harvey Ball, a Massachusetts resident and graphic designer who was commissioned to make that smiley face for, I believe, it was some kind of car company? Which is cool. I like that. I think he was paid like $45 for it, I think. So, you know, very modest kind of price. Must have been, it probably bought more back in the day, you know, back then university classes. This was in like the 60s, 70s or something. So, you know, back then college classes only cost like $1,000 ever, like grand total. And so, you know, $45, not too bad scratch for the day. He didn't know, like, you know, nobody knew that it was going to be like this huge big deal. Also, he made it in like 10 minutes, which is really funny. It's always funny, like, when you realize that, like, one of the most influential things, some of the most influential stuff in current society was more or less a byproduct of some dude scribbling furiously on a napkin and deciding to roll with it. There's something just so uniquely charming about those stories. I think it kind of like perpetuates the idea that anybody can be successful. I think maybe that's why they make you feel good, but that's a bit cynical, so I don't really like that take. But yeah, $45 he got paid for it. Meanwhile, on the other side of the planet, some French dude who fancied himself an entrepreneur, he decided he had a very similar drawing. He wrote for a newspaper, and whenever he had like some story that he wanted to show was good, or maybe there was a sale at the supermarket or something he wanted to announce, he would also use one of those yellow smiley faces. And very quickly he realized, hey, this has potential. The smiley face became a big hit for him, so he decided to trademark it. Now, trademark stuff is more of a US thing at this time. I mean, nowadays you can't like throw a rock without hitting something that's trademarked. But back in the day, it wasn't super common in Europe, I believe. But this guy was one of the first kind of early adopters of that intellectual property copyright sort of thing. So he trademarked it, and essentially the rest is history. He started printing out like hundreds and hundreds of stickers to popularize it. He printed just so many gosh dang stickers of these smiley faces, 100 per sheet essentially, and just gave them out to kind of popularize it. And because it's a fun little iconic design, and hey, free stickers, people put them on cars, on garbage cans, on newspapers, on everything. Which, back then, free publicity for the guy who owns the smiley face. Who again, and must reiterate, was not the guy who invented the smiley face. But yeah, he really leaned into it. I think eventually, when the smiley face even briefly got turned into a acid culture rave object, I guess would be the word. Icon might be the right word. Hang on, I gotta figure out how these thick old cable arms are gonna work. Okay, I think first I need to make the TV a little bit deeper. I'll have it have a little bit more substance. There we go. I think that might be able to do it. But yeah, anyway, after he started by selling them out, they got associated with rave culture. Then it was seen as like a sign of counterculture. It was this whole friggin' thing. But to his merit, the guy who trademarked the smiley face didn't discourage this at all. He was just like, yeah, sure. I mean, as long as you guys keep paying me money for it, I am down for whatever you want to use it for. So very open-minded in that regard, I guess. I don't really feel like saying anything good about that guy, to be perfectly honest. It just feels like he was a very opportunistic person. I get that you have to move to have, you got to move your hands quickly if you want to make any money, but still, it's a bit gross. Yeah. Anyway, after that whole thing of being associated with the rave culture, it eventually hit another resurgence with the advent of emojis, which is why they're still so popular today. How many of these are there? Hang on. Simplify vector line, here we go. There we go. Oh wait, this isn't, I don't think this is a CRT television. I think this is just a flat monitor. Okay, so then maybe what we can do instead is to have this here. Then kind of like this. There we go. Then over here, this is like that. Okay, I feel like that fits in with the perspective a little bit better. Maybe we can lower the brush size a little bit now. Maybe a lot more. Should drink some water. Yeah. Recently, I've been talking about this before. I've been watching Jerma play through Saints Row 3, a game that I hold very near and dear to my heart because I spent so many hours playing it one summer. And yeah, I've been recently replaying it as well. It's been fun. I find now that I have way more investment in, less so in the destruction and violence aspect of it, so much as it is just dressing my little gang boss up in different outfits. Like, I see the appeal now. Like, before I used to just... I was like the most stereotypical... Like, you could tell that a 15-year-old was playing that game, because I used to dress my guy up in like these long like trench coats and, you know, very kind of trip pants, very... I don't know how to put this, like very kind of Matrix 90s hacker kind of thing. And I used to think that it was the coolest shit ever. But you know, now I'm trying different things. I'm trying to spice it up a little bit. Yes, so far I've had an outfit that looked a lot like a disco outfit. I have had one where I looked almost exactly like Orville Peck. I've had one where I went like full lovecore, I think. That one was kind of fun, actually. I've been trying to. I'm gonna try to take screenshots off them from now on, because I kind of want to do like a little fashion showcase at the end of my playthrough. Yeah, games with in-depth character, you know, with those kind of in-depth character things have always been kind of have been very interesting to me. As someone who previously just kind of made them vaguely look like himself, now that I have a proper persona, it's so much funnier to make them either look like the human version that I have, or, God willing, the fucked up little rice guy that I have that you see before you. Because it really is just very rewarding to just see a little gremlin rice manlet just absolutely tearing it up. Yeah, one of my friends, Leo, he started a new save file on this DS game called Tomodachi Life, and he decided to make. We have a small Discord server, and he decided to make a tenant for every person in the Discord server. So you know, he made our buddy Toast. He made another friend of ours, Bunny, another friend of ours, Melita. He kind of went on a little spree, and. That ended up very funny when he got to me, because I ended up having... He essentially hid my eyes behind my mouth. So it looked like I didn't have eyes, but I did have a mouth. I looked like a very small, very green George Costanza. That was funny. I should ask him how that's going, if he's been playing it that at all. I hope he's having fun. Yeah. Or like in The Sims, right? Just kind of having that in... just kind of having that weird version of myself that has like a bathrobe and heart-shaped boxers. I also have heart-shaped boxers in Saints Row 3. I think that's just gonna be the default choice in underwear for me from now on. I wonder how much a pair of those would run on Amazon. I imagine they sell them as like costume items, so I can't imagine they're super expensive. I don't know, I might get proven wrong though. With the way that inflation is going for everything, I wouldn't be surprised if a pair of heart-shaped boxers now cost you as much as a car. Hard times we live in. Hard times. Alright. Another couple cables here. There we go. Here we go. Okay, cool. Alright, then... I think this is going to kind of extend down like this. Then like this. There we go. Okay, connect vector lines. Here we go. Simplify that. Oh, hey, there's a motorcycle outside. I can hear it. Yeah, I've been noticing way more motorcycles near where I live, which I think is a good thing. I don't know why. I feel like it probably is a good thing that there's just more motorcycles near where I live. If nothing else, it's good for me because I can take more pictures of them as references for, you know, random bike stuff. Yeah. The other day, I swear to God, I saw some dude who had that Tessie 3D suspension on his motorcycle. That was super weird. Although it also does make more sense that people are using motorcycles nowadays because it is warmer now, you know, it is summertime. I don't know how much you guys know about winter, but bikes aren't really suited for it. At least, I don't imagine they're particularly well suited for it, especially not here where there's like a lot of hills. You know, it's like... You can all... I feel like that's been the kind of... I've been considering, you know, like buying an e-bike or something like that to get around. But the problem is that it's just very dangerous in the wintertime. And the wintertime here lasts around like, what, 8 months out of the year? Maybe more? Although I guess you could probably like start using it sometime around April, March, maybe February even. No, probably more like April. Definitely more like April, because even by March we still have snow sometimes. Even by April we had snow sometimes. I remember that I whined and whinged about that one time. You know, I was like, oh, what a lovely April 14th this looks like. Why is the ground coated with this white bullshit? You know, that was kind of the thought process I had while waking up. I was like, huh. You know, it looks so weirdly bright outside today, and then I looked out and I'm like, oh god damn it. Okay, so I'm gonna expand this. Then I'm gonna try to figure out how I can fit that back in. Okay, I think that works. I think that works. Okay, then we can... Yeah, we'll have to do a lot of adjustment on the line width on this bad boy. Alright, Okay, so then that's gonna get covered up a little bit right here. Okay. Yeah, just big old thighs. I always like it when like mechanical characters just have these stupid, huge, humongous thighs for just absolutely no reason. I'm a big fan of that. I am 100% pro that. I don't like. Do they help you jump higher? I don't know what the purpose of thighs actually is. I think it's just a. I know that your hamstrings are the muscles that make you accelerate, while your quads are the muscles that make you kind of like go a little bit slower. You know, they're like the braking muscles, I guess you would call them. But besides that, I have no idea like what their proper usage is. You know, maybe their kind of purpose of design. Yeah, something that pissed me off today, right, was that I was taking this course on strategy, and I was fine with that, you know. I'm not bitter about learning. I'll never be bitter about learning, but actually I can be a little bit bitter about learning sometimes. But otherwise, I was just fine with it, you know. It wasn't a huge deal. But then all of a sudden they whipped out the phrase abductive reasoning. And I don't know why, but it just made me so irrationally mad. I don't know why I got mad at the phrase abductive reasoning, but I just did. I don't even remember what it means anymore. I remember I wrote it down, but I don't remember what it means. I think it means something like, rather than... I think essentially the point that we're trying to make is that rather than basing your hypothesis purely on what is known, sometimes you have to make a theory. Sometimes you can't always just spend time proving a hypothesis because you have to, you have to hustle sometimes. So for this kind of strategy course, what they said is that sometimes it's better to create a theory for how something works, and then try to put, based on your observations, you can make a theory instead of trying to do something, making a hypothesis, and then wasting time just essentially on your hypothesis, just figuring out how everything works. In other words, it's kind of encouraging you to improvise a little bit. Okay, then these ankles. Another thing I like is when mech characters have no feet. Toes, entirely unnecessary. You just have these ice pick legs, and that's all you get. That's all you need. You walk around like a deer, and that's life. That's you now. I love it when that happens. Because a lot of the time, right? You hear this especially from people who want to see more creepy monsters on screen, but sometimes people just do not do enough with their character concepts. So say and again, this is absolutely not me dumping on anybody. I love character design. I love all character designs. I love most character designs, but broadly speaking, I'm not out here to trash talk anybody. But there are people who just say like, oh yeah, I'm a vampire, I'm a demon, I'm a robot, and they just don't do much with that. They still look like a regular ass anime human being, and that's fine. That's all you need. That's also, if that's what that is to you, then fantastic. You're doing an outstanding job being yourself. However, much rarer is like somebody who decides like, yeah, I'm a robot and I'm just going to be a literal toaster, and if you have a problem with that, then deal with it. Because I feel like those people are taking much more of an advantage of what they do, of what they are, what their kind of like backstory is. I feel like there's two kinds of beauty to me. There's beauty in, just like the kind of basic human sense, and then there's beauty in a kind of more conceptualization sensibility, I guess, to a more conceptualized thought process. It's less so seeing like, wow, that looks so pretty, and more so being like, dang, that is a really cool idea. Not everything should be, needs to be, or will be a huge poopa anime girl. Sometimes you have like a robot who has a lot of vaporwave inspirations. Sometimes you'll have a little guy made out of rice. There are as many VTubers as there are stars in the sky now. So it's good that there's that kind of biodiversity, I suppose, is what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, it's really cool when people just really go nuts with their concept to me. Alright, let's narrow some of these lines down a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so maybe these ones. You can't hear it, but I'm furiously tapping on my drawing screen to get these to shrink down faster. All right, let me just thicken it up a little bit right here. Scale up width. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, this might be... Okay, this might be much more useful. Hang on. Okay, so thicken and narrow are based on actual pixel numbers, values, I suppose would be the word. That sounded like nonsense. Let me try that again. The thicken and width commands over here, they literally increase. So, for example, you have brush size 41. They would increase or decrease it by the amount that they're written down as. But when it's like scaled, so this is just 0.9% thinner, 0.9% thinner, 0.9% thinner, or something like that. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right. Let me stretch my wrists a little bit. Ooh, those are crunchy. Ugh. I am still, to some extent, unfamiliar with Western groceries. And I bring up this topic because the other day I bought a small... I don't know if you call it a quart bucket. A thing of ice cream. You know, I bought it like an ice cream container, and you know that's extremely normal. It's summer. You get ice cream. That's not that weird, perhaps. Why are you bringing this up? Well, you see, I was trying to like get at it, so I fancied myself a scoop. So naturally, I went over to my freezer, got out the ice cream tub, and you know, got out my little ice cream spoon that I bought a while ago, and I decided to scoop myself out a little bit. But when I went to scoop the ice cream, I tried to open it, and the tub just did not open. You know, it didn't open as I expected, because I'm from a place where they have the ice cream tub. Okay, so where I'm from, they have the tub of ice cream, right? You know, say it's like Rocky Road or something in here. They have a plastic sheet kind of vacuum sealed on top, and then they have the lid. This one, however, was direct lid, but it had this kind of belt loop, this kind of plastic security tie there to keep it in place. And I, in my innocence, didn't know that this was a thing that people did. I didn't know that that was a component of the equation, so to speak. So essentially, I kind of tried to force it open until I noticed that it had that little like plastic tie thing. I was just like growling and like trying to like force it open, like, come on, why aren't you opening? Is it like welded together? I was thinking about throwing it into the microwave. That would have been a super bad idea, by the way, because the plastic was still on there. So that, I don't know if you know what happens when you put plastic in the microwave. That's when you put non-microwavable plastic into the microwave. It's not great. You know, it's not a good thing. Okay, hang on. There we go. Okay. Anyway, I eventually did get it open because I figured out the little container thing. Oh, I made these spikes the wrong way. Hang on. There we go. Come on, buddy. There we go. Yeah, these ones too. Okay, then over here. Man, another thing I was gonna bring up, the other day, Miss Jackson by The Outcast came up on my YouTube recommended music selection, which is great because I love that song. But I remember that one time I read about the fact that the woman that the song was named for, essentially the song was written as a... as a very obtuse way of it was a very obtuse breakup song, essentially, because the song is about how this dude is apologizing to the mother of his ex-wife of his separated partner because they're not together anymore. And apparently the Miss Jackson in question was so pleased with herself that she got herself a license plate with Miss Jackson on it, one of those like vanity license plates on it with Miss Jackson on it. And I think that's really funny. I think that's honestly one of the best ways to react to having a song written about you. You're taking it really well if that's the case. Alright. Yeah, I mean, there's worse ways to take it. I mean, I don't know what the worst way anybody has taken like a song has been. It can't have been pretty. I mean, I imagine that at least one dude has died because his song was either such a fine diss or that it sucked so bad that they just decided that, yeah, this guy needs to go. This guy can't be allowed to live any longer. Okay. There we go. Okay, then that's going to kind of come in over here. That's going to kind of come in over there. This has to taper down way more. Way more. A little bit more than that, even. There we go. That might be a bit too much, actually. Hang on. Something smells like it's on fire, but not in my house. I feel like I'd notice if something was on fire in my house. Unless it's me. It's probably not me. Let's be real. If I was on fire, I would be the first to know. I've always thought of myself as a particularly flammable individual. I think all my resistances, but particularly towards fire, are just very, very low. Wait, is that still not it? Wait, how did I... Did I get the horns wrong again? Wait, hang on. Oh my god, I did. Okay. We can fix this, hang on. Did I like undo the horns or something? I think maybe I need to get more rest. Now I was thinking about that recently. Like, I thought I fixed my sleep schedule. Tales all this time, honestly. You're never fixing your sleep schedule. Society as a whole is just making it impossible to do that. But I thought I fixed my sleep schedule a while back because I think like 3 nights in a row. I went to bed at 11:30 and I woke up really good the next morning. Yeah, for me, I need to like decide to head to bed about at least half an hour before I'm supposed to sleep because, I take my sweet time brushing my teeth. It takes me a little bit longer than usual to fall asleep too, so I have to account for that as well. I've always admired people who can just fall asleep no problem. They are very powerful individuals. People who can just decide, like, okay, I don't want to be conscious anymore, and then just leave. They have like an off... My brother was one of those people. I don't know if he still is. He might still be. But my parents used to joke that he had an off switch on his butt. Because the moment he'd like sit down, he would just zonk out. He was gone. He was on another planet. God, I wish that were me, honestly. Like, I'm convinced that 90% of the problems that I have would be, if not solved, then at least far more bearable if I had more time to sleep. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's made it so damn difficult to just catch a decent amount of C's every night nowadays. I know that there's that sentiment of like fear of missing out, but I feel like even that's not enough to explain just how extreme, how just extremely prevalent sleep deprivation has become in modern society. Friggin', I know serfs in the Dark Ages didn't have to deal with this shit. All I'm gonna say. Granted, they did have to deal with tyrants and despots and possibly dying because of a paper cut. You know, assuming they even got to touch paper. So, I think I'm okay with this trade-off to some extent. Okay, and over here. Okay, scale up with just this little part here. Okay, what is with this thing? Maybe I need to like make it smaller. Oh, I see, it was on process the whole line. Okay. There we go. Then there is an off button right around here. There we go. I should probably work on the arms now. I feel like maybe that's a good idea. I feel like at least on this arm. I feel like maybe going like extra wide might be good. And with something to hook it into the monitor. Yeah, I was about to say like maybe it could have a little label on there that says man OS, like manos for hands. Okay, there we go. I'm very happy with how that arm came out, actually. Okay. Maybe I can shrink down this leg a little bit as well, because it does seem like it's a little bit big. God, though, what a week these past 2 days have been, though. I honestly feel quite exhausted. I don't know why. You know, obviously there's work and everything, but I feel I haven't had enough of a stressful week to warrant this amount of exhaustion. Although recently I've been getting nauseous at random intervals. I think I figured out why that is, by the way. You know, this may not be a mystery to anybody else, but it was for sure a mystery to me. I wonder if I can do something here, like maybe just have this like be round? Or, oh wait, no, maybe like have it have like this thing, like a kind of plastic separator here. There we go. Anyway, I've been getting nauseous recently, and I think I figured out why it is. So it turns out, so recently, a friend of mine, a buddy of mine, in the meat space, we met in university. He told me that he went to a doctor's and he got his blood taken to do a couple blood tests for a checkup because he had to do that for his visa. And he said that the doctor told him that his blood count was surprisingly low. I was like, huh, cool. So what did he tell you to take? And he said, oh yeah. So he gave me like some vitamin B, some iron, and some vitamin D, some zinc. And he said, you take these, and they will, and take these, get your blood count up, and see if you maybe feel a little bit more energetic. And he said that he'd been feeling fantastic ever since he started taking those supplements. So, you know, me being the enterprising individual and having easy access to a pharmacy like I do, I wanted to see if maybe I had something similar, because I feel exhausted all the time, and I cannot help but feel like maybe that's not the way it's supposed to be. I don't know if I felt that much of a change, to be honest. I'm not taking the supplements anymore because I'm pretty sure they're what are making me nauseous. Apparently, iron supplements in particular are notorious for making you nauseous when you take them. Which is ironic, considering like their whole kind of purpose is to not make you lightheaded. But yeah. So I guess the lesson to learn from all this is don't take supplements unless your doctor tells you to. Unless it's like a Flintstones chewable or some shit. I think you can get away with that. Yeah, don't take iron supplements unless your doctor specifically tells you, hey, take some iron supplements. You iron deficient Dorcas. Alright. Here we go. Okay, and then over here. Perfect. At least I've been trying to eat a little bit more before stream. Today I ate like four things of toast before I hopped on stream. So, you know, I feel like I should be pretty decent on fuel. You know, at least for a little while. I've been wondering what kind of snacks people keep around with them when they stream. I know that Corky, for example, I think they keep snacks around for their streams. So I wonder what they normally kind of have to kind of munch on during streaming. I was thinking something like maybe gummies or something like that. Something that's not too crunchy, and maybe doesn't like dry out your mouth so much. I guess grapes would be a pretty good choice for that. You know, I know there's like, I don't know if it's just me, but I've always associated opera singers with just eating huge like things of grapes. I don't know why that is, but I just do. I associate opera singers with eating grapes and broadly with eating a lot. I might be... full disclaimer, I might be kind of lumping them together with sumo wrestlers in my mind. No real explanation for that either. I think I just figured that like most opera singers are depicted as these like huge, you know, really thick set dudes. So I figured like, hey, you know who else is supposed to be really huge? Sumo wrestlers. You should conflate those things together. And I was like, yeah, I'll accept that into my worldview. As you do. Okay, then over here. Let's see, what else is there? I think I should lower this line here. There we go. Okay, so maybe what I can do is shrink it down even a little bit more almost. The whole painting. And then maybe expand the hands just a little bit more. Because I feel like that'll give it like a really good sense of scale. Okay, then like that. Nice, okay, cool. And over here, hang on. Let me just connect those two together. Huh. Maybe if I simplify them, it'll have a slightly better effect. Maybe a little more? There we go. Okay. Oh, no, wait, what happened here? I tell you, sometimes this vector line stuff is like trying to plug leaks on a boat. You know, like you plug up one and then suddenly like 5 more take their place. Alright, let's see what we can do here though. Okay, cool. Then we can again just kind of connect those two. And then redraw vector line width. Brush size, here we go. There we go. Wait, what's going on over here? Let's connect these two. And then what's this? There we go. Okay, then we gotta sort these out a little bit, you know, just do a little bit of course correction. Or maybe simplification might be better. Okay, maybe a little bit more simplification. Alright, how's that? That's quite a bit better, actually. Hang on. Let me adjust this a little bit. Okay, and now we can hit him with the redraw line width. Okay, then over here, maybe I should reduce the line size a little bit more for these, so. There we go. And we can just do something similar for this side. Okay, this part here, just kind of expand that on that a little bit so it connects like that. Perfect. Alright, then we can add the little claws there, the little Wi-Fi signal shoulder pads, and then the little mouse swings, and we should get ready to start coloring. How are we for time? About an hour in? Nice. Doing a little stretch here. Whew. Okay. Alright. Actually, I feel like maybe the arm might have a slightly flatter beginning rather than that huge square there, because it does look like it's quite on the flat side. It does look like it's a wad of cables. So kind of to respect that. There we go. Maybe like that. Yeah, I think that should. I think that'll work. I think that'll do just fine. Man, speaking of game, whenever I play a game that I used to be really into as a teenager, it just gives me the urge to just go back and replay a bunch of them. So now that I'm replaying Saints Row 3, I kind of want to also replay Fallout New Vegas. But I know that if Saints Row 3 is a time sink, then New Vegas is like a time industrial tub. Yeah. I've been meaning to try and play New Vegas on stream, but the thing is, I've played it so much that it's almost going to be... I'm not even going to call it a speedrun, it's just going to be me just knowing how to do everything and not really being able to react. Because I already know what's going to happen. And while that might be just decently fun for me, I don't think it'll make for particularly good content. I could try using one of those randomizer things. Although I don't know how to install mods, so I'll have to learn how to do that if that's the case. But you know, never say never. I'm sure that the opportunity will at some point present itself. I just need to be on the lookout. Okay, then over here. I will say though, I will never play on friggin' hardcore mode. I will not do it. I do not condone it. I do not care if you do it. Hardcore mode is just not fun. I tried playing it like one time and I was immediately so amazed by just how much bullshit there was in it. It was just very unnecessary, but I think like this was back in the day when I think J.E. Sawyer was the guy who kind of implemented that. I'm not. It probably wasn't Chris Avalone, but it might have been J.E. Sawyer who implemented that, and I think he had it closer to his ideal of like having Fallout be essentially a tabletop RPG type thing. I know the original Fallout was actually going to be licensed based on the General Universe role-playing system tabletop game. So it makes sense that it would still try to chase those roots, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't like things that are hard for the sake of being hard. I don't like that they're just like there to whinge and whine about how hard they are. Now I feel like that's not. I feel like if you're doing, I'm not even saying that they can't be fun. I'm saying that like when you do it in such a way that it's basically unfair, it's also to some extent kind of giving dudes the license to act like tough guys if they complete it. I don't know. I talked to like a couple people who finished hardcore mode and they were like, yeah, hardcore mode was so hard. Obviously be proud of your achievements for it, but I've never understood the point of that. I've never understood just being frustrated at a game. I think that's what I understand less. So like it's not so much that I don't admire them, you know, and they persevered. They show that they have that perseverance, but at the same time, I cannot imagine playing a game that makes you mad just for the sake of saying that you beat it. Yeah, I mean, I used to have a lot more patience with video games. I will say that. I remember that I used to have like way more patience for bad video games than I do now. Now if a video game is bad, I can just kind of turn it off and, you know, just not think about it again. And that's fine. That's not even an issue. But, you know, when I was a kid, I used to just spend time if I wasn't good at a game. I would just like invest hours and hours and hours into it without really caring about the time that I was using because, you know, I had so much of it. I just had so much time as a kid. But, you know, I'm a busy bag of rice now. I've got like responsibilities and shit. So yeah, there's less of a, what do you call it? Not precedent, motivation for me to do that now. Okay. There we go. God, I wish there was an easier way to put vector lines on a curve. But no, you just kind of have to simplify the hell out of them and then hope for the best. Alright, let's see here. Connect vector lines. Here we go. Then simplify vector line. Taper? I wonder what that means. Well, I guess there's one really fast way of finding out. Alright. Maybe I should boost simplification a little more, though, just in case. Okay, then over here. There we go. And then this one here. Hang on, I gotta make this chase a natural curve with my hand. Perfect. Whoops, hang on. Alright. Then from here... Alright, I need to send out these couple of lines here. Wait, what the... Where did this get here? Seems like somehow I've duplicated the tool. Very weird, very weird. I don't like that. I was wondering, like, hey, what does it say 2 here? Am I just going nuts? No, it seems like I just goofed a little bit. That's fine though. I'm glad that I'm not actually going nuts. And I seem to have accidentally put scale up width instead again. But yeah, I may be 100% sane, but that doesn't mean that I don't still make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. That's fine. All right, then Wi-Fi symbol. Yeah, maybe I should just use a smaller brush, but I mean, things are working out just fine for me so far, so why stop? Alright. Thinking about a little, I've been thinking a little bit more about how I make line art and such as well, because, you know, I've been thinking about Live 2D a little bit again, and I've been wondering that if I just make a vector layer, you know, the way that vector layers work, you can kind of stack them up in very interesting ways. But I was thinking that maybe if I just kind of work them in a specific way, I don't actually need to erase them. I can just kind of paint over each different line art until eventually I have like a whole complete picture and I can just move whatever I want. And while that would give me an absurd amount of flexibility with my workflow, it's also just kind of a pain, so I'm not going to do that. Okay. Anyway, adjust line width. Here we go. Come on. Alright, I think that works. Alright, these have 3 bars each. I've always wondered what the kind of arbitrary number is for Wi-Fi bars. I know that like nowadays we have 4 bars for as a symbol of like. I know that for some reason 4 bars kind of became the prevalent symbol of, yeah, this has really good connectivity. But I wonder who decided what the number of bars should be. You know, who woke up one day and said, Huh, you know, today I'm gonna set a standard for the symbols of connectivity across the world. Like, what's stopping some asshole from just saying, yeah, our Wi-Fi is so good it gets 5 bars, but it's still the same Wi-Fi, you know? They just like sell it, saying like, you know, it's not even different Wi-Fi. They're just saying they're just displaying it in a slightly different way. Although I guess they'd have to use a phone's OS to do that, which would make it a bit more difficult. Oh! I don't know why, but earlier I was thinking about the phrase, sell the sizzle, not the steak. And it was really bothering me because I couldn't remember the full phrase. If you've never heard of that phrase, it essentially means that, like, rather than selling what is substantial about the product, you can try to... It's often more successful if you try to sell its more kind of attractive features. So, you know, any watch, for example, like if you buy a watch, it's gonna tell the time. That's not up for debate. If it doesn't tell time, you haven't bought a watch, you've bought something else, right? Conversely, the value of watches depends on what type of watch you get. So, for example, if you say, oh yeah, this watch is like based on radio technology and it will be accurate until the end of days, then that's something. You know, that's like something that you can sell it on. But, you know, you say like, oh yeah, this watch was made by like one artisan in his 120th year on this planet, whose hands shake very violently every 5 minutes. So he took like 18 years to make this watch. Hey Van, how you doing? I was talking about like marketing tactics. Have you ever heard the phrase like "sell the sizzle, not the steak"? I was talking a little bit about that. Like, I was just saying, right, that if you sell a watch, you're selling something that can tell the time, sure, but that shouldn't be like the main selling point of it. Doing good. Hey, that's great to hear. But yeah, you know, if you sell a watch, you're not gonna sell the fact that it tells time. You know, that's not like the main selling point unless it tells time very accurately. Or maybe in a way that's unique from other watches. Like, I don't know, maybe every half an hour, some tiny bird will pop out and cheep at you and be like, hey, it's 4:30, dipshit, and it'll go back into its little hole. That could be a selling point, but like, if your watch's selling point is that it just tells time, then you're not gonna go far, essentially. Okay, let's see how this works. Okay, this is what was causing me grief. Alright, there's this part here, which we can kind of curve around like that. Actually, let's keep them flat. There we go. And we can make one slightly smaller one and just move the circle down as well. Because I feel like any more than that, and it'll start interrupting the rest of the casing here. I mean, I'm a simple man, I just need to be told the time, and nothing else. That's fair, though. Like, that is also, like, a market, right? That's why economy seating on planes exists. God. I would do wish transportation was a lot more affordable than it currently is. Airline companies are friggin' evil. Even trains have gotten really expensive, and those are supposed to be like one of the cheapest options out there for long distance, you know. I actually did look it up, and it's super weird because I have to go somewhere in like 2 months. I have to go somewhere on a trip, and you know, I figured to myself, hey, I actually have a couple of days off that week. So what I might be able to do is I might just be able to take a train there, you know, maybe one of those overnight trains or something, you know, just take it there and just try out an overnight train for the first time in my life. And it turns out that the tickets are like $1,000. Meanwhile, a plane is just like $100 and something. Like it's absolutely insane, the price difference. And I was just so sad. Because for some reason I had this idea that maybe overnight trains were a little less expensive, but no. They're more expensive, which makes sense because you're essentially paying for a hotel. Might as well walk. I have confidence in my skill to amble about, but I don't think I can walk that far. It's quite a few kilometers. I don't know. Maybe that's a too negative of a mindset, though. Maybe I should just. Maybe I should. I've never tried, so might as well give it a shot. All right. All right. Here we go. Yeah, I figure that my midlife crisis is probably going to be me buying a motorcycle and taking a backpacking across the country. Assuming motorcycles and countries are still things that exist by the time I hit like my mid-40s. I think that's probably what's going to happen to me. I saw somebody the other day tweet that VTubing is their midlife crisis, and honestly, there are worse things you could do with your time. I mean, I know I have a lot of fun with this. But yeah, now I'm just imagining some dude in his 30s who immediately like wakes up in a cold sweat one night and goes like, okay, I need to commission like 16 different people plus a musician to put me together an entire overlay. I need to start VTubing like right now, tomorrow. Yeah. Midlife crises, right? I've never understood those. Probably because I've not even, ideally I haven't even reached them a third of my life. But I've never understood like what the whole thing behind that is. Like, I think like it's supposed to be like the person in question is trying to recapture some of their youth or something. I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I think like I think it is that like they've realized that they don't have that much time left, or not as much as they used to, so they start kind of suddenly blowing all their money on random stuff they've always wanted, like a fancy car or something. I think that's how I understood midlife crises to work as a kid. I don't know if that's accurate at all. I don't, like I said, I've never experienced one myself and hopefully never will. I don't know if I'll still be VTubing, but maybe that's what's going to happen to me. Maybe I'm going to be the guy who, maybe 20 years from now wakes up in a cold sweat one night and goes like, oh my god, I need to get back into VTubing. God, now I'm just imagining me and my Discord buddies in a retirement home, all just kind of on like some kind of weird group collab where we're like, I don't know, rating the bread pudding at the retirement home. That would be really funny. I should drink some water. Okay. Posture check. Oh, thank you. All right. It's always really difficult for me to do posture checks and all that. And stretch. All right. Thank you. I've learned recently that if you have like a weird unexplained tension in your back that doesn't go away no matter how many stretches you do, you might actually be maintaining that tightness in your pectoral muscles. And if you are, then literally the best solution is to do a pose like you've just like finished first place in a marathon. Like you're supposed to essentially go like this, or like you've been really surprised. You're supposed to go kind of like this and just hold it for a while. That's how you loosen up your pectoral muscles, and that apparently can help some kinds of backache. Okay, just get rid of that. I remember that another exposure that I had to midlife crises as a kid was The Sims. I think like that was a gameplay element that your sim could get like a midlife crisis and you had to like buy them something that they wanted. I don't remember that too well. I might be making that up, but I feel like that was a thing. It probably was at some point, I say that like it maybe wasn't, but I'm guessing that at some point somebody at the EA team said like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we gave these little fictional people the same woes and dilemmas that we have as wholly formed human beings? and they also said give that guy a raise. All right, hang on. Here we go. A game I used to play a lot when I was younger was actually Don't Starve. I remember playing it a lot as a kid because I managed to get my grubby little child hands on one of the beta versions, and I just played it to death because I had so much fun just trying to survive and being very bad at the game, but nevertheless having fun. Recently, my buddies have started playing it on Discord, and whenever they start talking about it, I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. The thing is, right, I left like maybe sometime around when it was like only just finishing the story updates, which was way that was like long time ago. Like that was like maybe in the early 2010s that happened, which is a little while ago now. Oh my god. Now I'm remembering that you could... I used to run Google Chrome as a kid. Nowadays I use Firefox. But back in the day I used to use Google Chrome like most people do. And Don't Starve is that old? Yeah, I remember playing it when I was like 13. Which was about a little over a decade ago? Yeah, so approximately like 2013, 2010 is... Yeah, so 2015, 2014 is when I stopped playing Don't Starve, and it was... It changed a lot since then. Yeah. But yeah, it is much older than people might think. Anyway, I remember that you used... I don't know if this is still the case, because again, I haven't run Google Chrome in Lord knows how long. Because for some godforsaken reason, when I got a MacBook, I just used Safari all the time. I think it was because like Chrome just like... I don't know why I was so stubborn about it. I just did not install any other browser besides Safari on my MacBook when I got it the first time, because I had to get one for school purposes. And I didn't get a new browser until eventually I went to the university, and I decided to finally bite the bullet and transfer over to Firefox. One of the best decisions I've ever made, by the way. And anyway, before that, I was a Google Chrome guy. And I remember that you used to be able to download demos for certain video games directly onto the Google Chrome browser. I remember that's how I played the Bastion demo. Yeah, for that Supergiant game, Bastion. I remember I played that demo on Google Chrome. And honestly, I feel like maybe that was like maybe one of the few merits that it did have. Okay. So yeah, we got one big old finger here. Yeah, I think I think I stopped around. I think I stopped playing Don't Starve actually. I think I stopped playing that around the time they introduced Don't Starve together. I think that was just around the time that I stopped playing it. Yeah, I think that's when the game went fully. I think that's when the game was fully released, and they started charging all kinds of weird stuff for it. I think they started like putting up DLC and such, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna be a part of this. I'm done. This is no longer my bag. I'm gonna go back to playing Minecraft. And I did. I did play Minecraft for a while after that. But it is very odd just seeing it just be around. Just this thing that I've just known for a while just kind of exists outside of my periphery. It's like, I know the analogy that I'm going to use. I know it's exactly like when you go to your hometown after a while has passed and they've torn down a restaurant that you used to go to. That's what it feels like a little bit. Like, but instead of tearing down the restaurant, it's more like now the restaurant has given you involves kayaking for some reason. Like there's there's like a live lion pit in there. I've been playing Terraria, which just did a crossover with Don't Starve, and kind of made me want to buy a copy of Don't Starve. Yeah, I mean, Don't Starve has a lot of crossover stuff with Terraria now as well, I believe. I know one of my buddies was playing there, and he fought the Eye of Cthulhu in Don't Starve. Well, I think they call it the Eye of Terror there for copyright reasons, but they did have a crossover that goes both ways. Okay, just kind of shut these out. Alright, cool. After this, I need to just do the other hand and do the cable, then we should be good to start coloring. But yeah, Terraria did do like a huge crossover with Don't Starve, and you know, that went both ways. Don't Starve now has Terraria items. I think... Yeah, I think they have the Eye of Terror now in there, but I don't know what other items are in there now. I know that weird moose, the moose cyclops, the deer cyclops thing from Don't Starve is now in Terraria. Don't Starve got Eye of Cthulhu, Terraria has the deer clops or whatever. Yeah, that thing. Yeah. Okay, there we go. But yeah, I really like Don't Starve's art style. I will say that's something that hasn't changed. Is that I still absolutely love the art style Don't Starve has. It has this very kind of hatchy, not like super well finished, very rough kind of art style, which I really adore. You know, all animated by hand more or less, all kind of just done very lovingly, which is always nice. Killed it on Master Mode, kind of a bastard of an early boss. I could feel that. Bosses in Don't Starve are either events that you're 100% prepared for and it goes okay, or you're not prepared for it at all and it murders you. So I imagine that it's a little bit like that in Terraria as well. And then there's Saints Row, where you can just air juggle this random guy who just has 4,000 health with your exploding pistol shells. I've been playing Saints Row 3 a lot again, and I'm having the time of my life. But yeah, bastard of an early boss. That's really funny. Alright, let's see then. The tail. The tail which looks like an electrical plug. Okay, so if I want to kind of keep this... Okay, so what would be the best way to overlay this? Hang on. Gotta do some big brain stuff right here. So the tail comes out this way. Maybe like this, so that we have the full square? Or maybe like this, so we have the... Ooh, this might be interesting. Lots of different things you can do with this. Actually, I think maybe this one might be good, having it just kind of droop down here. I think that kind of keeps it at a very in-scope level of detail. Okay, let's do it. Okay. I hate that I've recently been able to... I have very limited numbers of outlets in my house. That's one of the only negatives of this apartment. Otherwise, it's lovely, but one of the only negatives that I can think of is the fact that there are a limited number of outlets I can use in my kitchen. It can freeze you, which in no early boss even inflicts status debuffs, so already right then bastard move. Then it summons these shadow hands that are hard to dodge, and God forbid you get too far away, at which point it pelts you with a bunch of boulders. I'm so irritated, forgive me. Yeah, no, it sounds like you needed to get that off your chest, go ahead. Yeah, the anti-Deerclops gang, rise up. Anyway. Yeah, that does sound like bullshit, though. It reminds me a lot of, like, Whenever I think of like bullshit in video games, I remember the Matador from Shin Megami Tensei 3, a game I've never played, but I do know that the Matador is infamous because he is like one of the first bosses to use status buffs to just absolutely really give you the business. I think because he has this thing called like Red Capote or something like that, which essentially gives him an absurd speed buff. Then he debuffs your speed, so you go last every single time. He does a lot of bullshit, essentially, weird buffs, and if you don't play well, if you don't play smart and you haven't been using your buffs or debuffs at all, you are gonna get fucking wrecked by that dumbass in a Matador outfit. No, wait, it doesn't have that kind of like bifurcated cable thing, so I should probably not add that. Okay. Okay, then like that. Yeah, I think the kind of like go-to solution for that guy used to be that you used to hit him with the Kaja, which takes away a bunch of buffs, but even then he still gives you a really hard time. I should try to play Shin Megami Tensei 3, but I don't know. I'm kind of worried that I'll really just absolutely hate it. Because I don't really like super hard video games. I'm not a huge fan of games that are supposed to make you feel like garbage. And I've heard that Shin Megami Tensei 3 is one of those games. So, you know, I'm a little bit concerned about that. But it does seem to have a really good story, and I love the character designs. So, a little bit at war with myself on that decision. Okay, then over here. That reminds me of somebody putting up one of those pictures of male-to-male extension cords, which, if you don't know, look like two plugs like this. So essentially, what you've got then is, if you plug this into an outlet, you've essentially got one side that will explode everything it touches with electricity, and is definitely not safe at all. Yeah, don't make those. Don't try to make those. Don't ask somebody to make those. Don't buy one if you see one on the market for some godforsaken reason. Don't get near them. They're bad news. Anyway, they showed me a picture of those, and they're like, ooh, wiggly wobbly or something like that. It reminds me about how people made a meme out of the demon core, which is still super weird to me. Like, I get getting radiation as a meme, you know, I understand that. I think I get it, at least. Like, I understand how saying that something makes you radioactive is kind of funny. Because, you know, radioactivity is something you also don't tend to fuck with normally. You know, as a matter of course, you don't mess with stuff that you literally cannot block without a lead sheet. I think they teach you that in preschool, you know, don't pick fights with invisible enemies. And especially not weird rocks that God cursed to have murderous energies from 300 yards. Alright, simplify vector line. Yeah. I'm pretty confident in my ability to fight things. Actually, I'm not confident in that at all, but even I'm not willing to tangle with something that can unzip my DNA like a Beyblade. Prank him, John. Closes demon core. But I thought closing the demon core like stopped it. I thought that was like, was it? Okay, no. Closing the demon core was supposed to stop it because. Wait. Okay, the way I remember it is that the demon core is a bit of plutonium encased in a whole lot of lead. So closing it would actually save them. I think. I'm not sure. I'm not super caught up in my Demon Core lore. Alright, let's see. Kind of lowering the width of all this. There we go. Not super happy that this doesn't kind of like taper out the way it does in the picture. But yeah, this tail is like Frieza levels of thick right now. No, they had to keep it open. The main doctor kept it open with a screwdriver and eventually fell out and closed. That's what eventually killed them. Oh, I didn't know that. All right, interesting. So it was that they had to keep it open. Huh. I wonder why that is then. I really should brush up on that a little bit more then, because this isn't the first time I've talked about the Demon Core on the channel, surprisingly enough. So, you know, if I'm talking all that bullshit, I should at least know what I'm talking about. It was completely mishandled. Yeah, I think like somebody spilled some hot coffee on him, on somebody else, and they yelled "ow," and he got distracted long enough that it got like, you know, it did the hokey pokey, and then it turned itself blue. It was complete. Yeah, no, that was, yeah. Okay, and then just kind of shrinking this down like this. Perfect. Alright, then reduce the thickness of this. Here too. Yeah, one thing about me is that I'll always be sleepy. Alright? You can never catch me at a bad nap time. Okay, then this one seems to have the kind of 3-prong outlet thing going on. There we go. That's a 1. That's a 2. Okay, then over here. Gonna put a little hole there, just cause. And probably like do this thing there, on at least one of the sides. No, that looks weird. I don't like that. It looks better just sharp like that. And here's 3. Okay. And over here. All right. Then kind of taper it like that. All right, I think that'll do her for line art. Now I think we need to move on to coloring. Alright, let me just fix up some of the width here. Yeah, I like that. I like the kind of flow that this whole picture has. I like this. Okay. Delicious, nutritious, life-giving water. Okay, then... Oh, right, I do actually need the reference up for this. Alright, excuse me, right this way, sir. Thank you. Alright. So, arms first, because those are big uns. Oops, didn't mean to color the background there. Alright, and then they have this kind of grayish in the middle. Which it might be a bit problematic later on because it looks almost like the exact kind of gray of my background, but that's fine. It's still got a couple of differences. This is fine. This will not be a problem. I will not allow it to be a problem. Okay. Let's take all that. Nice kind of magenta television box here. The tail, cannot forget the tail, will be kind of like this color here. Alright, the fingies. Okay, they got the blue bit at the back and the yellow bit at the front. And over here. This kind of gray, metal gray for the tip of the cable. And some very nice metal texture for the actual prongs. I like that word, prong. I feel like it's a very good word. You know, I feel like prong doesn't get enough respect. You know, it's a very useful word. You know, surface level, it can just mean like anything, any kind of like pointy thing. But broadly speaking, you can use it to refer to anything if you want, really. English is a fake language. You know, for once the French have it right. I feel like there should be more government sanctioned organizations for the preservation of a language. If only because it would be so funny to prank them. You know, the French one, I think, recently banned poggers as a... Basically, the shell surrounding the demon core acted as an amplifier, made the radiation a bit more angry, so to speak. It being closed is what really matters. Radiation particles bouncing around and getting more condensed. Oh, I see. It's fascinating. Huh, so it acted as an amplifier. I didn't know that. That makes more sense then. You know, if they didn't want it to be close, then it makes more sense that they wanted to amplify it in such a way that the particles all bounce in one specific direction. You know, that makes sense. Okay, then over here. Yellow cable here, blue cable here. While they were testing this, the doctor accidentally slipped up and let it loose. Oof, yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay, then write this here, this here, this here. Okay, then this kind of nice blue for the dome. We'll work on the flame colors in just a little bit, but for the moment I'm just gonna give them this kind of base orange. Okay, and then we can have just really dark for the eyelashes. Really bright white for the eye. Yeah, a nice kind of gun gray for the iris. Okay, cool. Alright, so those are the basic colors down. So now I'm gonna do my usual thing and kind of maybe with the tone curve a little bit. Change it up just a touch. Huh. Alright. So maybe just leave it as is. But that also does mean that we can just kind of get started on the shading, which is cool. Alright, let's go. Okay. So for this part right here, what I think I'm going to do is, for all layers, just kind of get these parts selected here. Or just this part specifically. Then right here. I'm a bit out of it right now. Gonna lurk as I rest a bit, and a preemptive thanks for the stream. Yeah, no problem. Get some rest. Yeah, you know, it's almost Wednesday, so you need to save up your energy. You know, I've always said it. Wednesdays are the hardest. Wednesdays are the day that things just... You know, Wednesdays are a very kind of natural low for the week. You know, there's a lot of reasons for that. There, you know, it's the kind of... Again, weirdest name I've ever heard for a Wednesday hump day, but it really is, because it's kind of the hill in the sense that once you're over it, you know, once you're past Wednesday, you're that much closer to the weekend. You know, you gotta forget about making it to the weekend. You just gotta make it to Wednesday. If you made it to Wednesday, you've basically already made it to the weekend. All right, maybe just a slightly lower tolerance on here. No, something about this doesn't feel right. I think I need to get the, what do you call, the model here for a reference. I think we can make the light slightly more extreme for this as well. No, definitely from this side, I think would be a better angle. Alright, copy paste. No, not the model dummy, the layer. Rasterize that. Here we go. Okay. Alright, so now we got a little bit more perspective. Alright, so this part would be dark, but this part right here, just right like almost right down the middle, practically, would be dark. This part over here would be light, but this part over here would be dark. We can edit this as we go along, but that's the basic gist of it. Okay, cool. Then probably this part here in the middle will also be just fairly darkened. Yeah, the cool thing is that because there's only this kind of middle part here, it's very simple to figure out the hip shading. You know, it's refreshingly easy. Okay. Oops, hang on, I'm hitting the other leg by accident. Okay, so over here we should use refer to editing layer only. And okay, Alright, hang on. What about refer to all layers, but here we go. Wrong layer. One of these days I'm gonna get it right. Actually, I'm surprisingly, given how somewhat forgetful I am when it comes to some things, it surprises me that I don't forget which layer I'm supposed to be working on more often. So, you know, nice work, me. Yeah. I think like maybe once a week I have that issue, and I feel like that happens way more for some people. You know, relatively speaking. So I feel like I'm coming out ahead for sure. Nah, no, that's not gonna work. I think this will also need to be almost kind of like... I'm not sure how to shade this, because the style itself is very interesting. It looks kind of meaty almost, the way that it's put together. So I'm not sure how to shade it. Alright, then maybe clear out this part here, and this part here. Then... ooh. Alright, maybe with the hard eraser we'll have it. Maybe the hard eraser will have better results. Wait. Oh, no. Wait, I can fix this, I think. Alright, hang on. We gotta go back and fix something real quick. Okay, so... Alright, first of all, we'll need to shove this, like, way up here. And this one a little bit further up as well. Nice, okay. So then... what we're going to want to do is switch up the colors here. So all that is yellow will now be blue, all that is blue will now be yellow, forever and anon. Nope. There we go. All right, now we got something that makes sense. Cool, perfect. All right. I did that on the shading layer. That's okay. I can fix that also. Hang on. All right. Okay, yeah, this works perfectly now. Okay, cool. Whew, okay. Then, what was I doing? Shading stuff. Right, okay. So, it's gonna get a little bit of shadow there. It's probably gonna get a bit of extra more over here. Then... this arm's bothering me. Okay. Oh, now we've got a little weird thing here, though. Okay. Yeah, just dabble up that little bit part there. Perfect. Okay, now we're in business. All right, now we may begin. Good grief. All right. Okay, just go like that. Shape this hole right here. The wire hole. And over here. Then probably around here. Okay, then shape this gray part here too. Likewise over on this hand. Then the blue part here. We'll definitely work on it, but that's a decent start for the arms right now. Then the television. I remember there was this tip I read a while ago. Now might be a good time to use it actually, since this piece is so colorful. That you need to use like these two like the color wheel a little bit more when shading stuff. So maybe for this one, I'll use this as the shading color, and this as the maybe highlight color. It's certainly interesting, but I'm not sure if it's what I want. All right, here's the idea. Okay, so maybe instead of just so I like the idea of the complementary cool color for the shadow, but maybe we can just kind of go more normal for the lighter part. All right, so let's try that. So okay, so select color gamut, this part here. All right, so this color is right here, so the shadow would be this kind of darker blue. All right, so we want like a darker blue, almost like that. Yeah, here we go. Maybe a little bit, no, not that much lighter though. Okay. Yeah, that's very dramatic. Well, if you start having second thoughts, that means you've already lost. Let's see. What the? Oh crap, I accidentally shaded the wrong layer again, didn't I? Well, that's fine, that's easily fixed. Hang on. Okay, so actually this art would be towards the warmer side, so maybe with this kind of like bluer, with this kind of cyan almost would be the way to shade this. No, nope. Alright, magenta it is. Oh man, no, that's not really working either. Okay, what about purpler, like darker purple? Oh, okay, I think we might have a winner. Okay, cool. Oh man. man, that is actually hurting my eyes a little bit. I got this, though. I got this. Okay. That also means we'll have to redo the arm, but that's fine. That's not really a big deal. Alright. So maybe we can... Okay, so... Maybe a kind of greener color, maybe? Whoops. No, that's way too much. Hang on. Okay, so maybe if that's not going to work, maybe this side will be more enlightening. This is almost kind of like a normal gray, so I feel like maybe on this side it might be better. And then we already have this kind of purple for the yellow part over here. Okay, then from there... Can you tell I'm having slight second thoughts about all this? Alright. It's an interesting idea, but I've never done this before, so I'm very nervous about the execution. Alright. So it'll be this kind of darker blue for the red here as well. And for the cyan, it'll be this kind of purpler color, I think. Yeah, I think this blue is like a bit too bright, so I'm gonna slide it more towards purple and a little bit down. I think that's more obvious as a shadow almost. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't think this is gonna work out. Alright. Maybe we can go for like a less extreme version of it, maybe? Hang on. No, that's even worse. Okay. Yeah, I think the where it's really not doing it for me is maybe the wires and the arms, but the legs look great. Alright. Okay, so it's anti-clockwise about 3/4 of a turn. Alright, so maybe like that. No, it needs to be darker. That's another thing. It needs to be like way darker for it to make sense. See, because it's working down here. It's working here, I think. But it's not working for the wires for some reason, and I need to figure out why that is. Okay, I think I might got it. I think I might have it. Okay, so keep kind of pushing it anti-clockwise, and then desaturate it a little bit more. Okay, I think that was kind of key there. Maybe a little bit less for this one. Yeah, kind of like that. Okay, I think we're slowly piecing this together. All right, I think this puzzle is very close to completion. However, there's still quite a few missing pieces that I'm not wholly satisfied with. Yeah, I think for the arms, I'm just gonna kind of keep it more regular. Or if nothing else, kind of use these colors that I've already kind of established up here, down here, for them. Okay. Then, okay, where's the shadow reference? Okay, and down here as well. Okay. Yeah, like it looks very natural for this kind of weird gray color down here. For the tail, I mean. So this is gonna bug me. It's gonna bug me if I don't figure this out. But I'm glad I took this risk, you know? I think it matches the kind of more vaporwave, very saturated kind of art style of the character. I feel like it goes well with the design, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, then just kind of doing it like this. Okay. So down here, like this. Okay, we'll worry about the prongs in just a second. For now, kind of want to worry a little bit about this arm here. Alright, so first of all, let's start with the hard eraser, because I feel like that's going to be the most worth our time. Alright, select color gamut. This right here. There we go. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to hit it with a rough eraser. It's kind of all along the border here. And then we can kind of diffuse that a little bit with the Painter Leaf Blender. Where is that? Here we are. Here we go. Okay, so I think maybe what it might be my best bet might be some kind of watercolor brush using this thing. What, splash? Ooh, that's interesting. No. Okay, no. You know, I can't do this. Okay. You know, I tried it for this part here, I did, but it's just not working out. Can't explain why, but I don't know, but I need to like change the colors up so it doesn't look so atrocious, because I think what's mainly bothering me is that it all looks blue. You know, it doesn't look like there's any difference for the yellow there. For some reason it's most pronounced when it's like this, but... Because we've tried green as well, but that also didn't work out. Maybe I need to go like redder? Hang on, what about like... No, that looks even worse somehow. Okay, start from scratch. Alright. Yeah, may not too crazy on these. No, that's so purple. Yeah, maybe not too crazy on these. Or maybe I'm just overdoing the shadows on the arms. I think that might be also a factor here. Because if, for example, I only had the shadow kind of like around here, right? And around here. Yeah, I think that might have been the trick as well. Then maybe with the painterly blender again, we can kind of put that together a little bit more. Or even with the normal blender. No, that doesn't look right. Alright, so it's definitely the purple that's throwing this whole thing off. Alright, hang on. Actually, no, let's do that bit too here, because whatever we do with this, it's going to kind of end up ricocheting. Feeding back into the whole thing. Okay. Okay, I think that's going to be it. Yeah, I think that has a nice balance between kind of being a purplish and being a bluish. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, so textured blender. Do I like that? I'm gonna go with it. You know, roll with it. You know, you're never gonna make it in this business if you don't know how to ad-lib. No, that's not right. That just creates a gray as well. Okay, so maybe the purple isn't suited for the yellow either. Okay, so what about... Yeah, okay, so for that one we can just kind of switch it up for this. No, but then it kind of betrays this thing here. And we can just use this one. Okay, then from there... Okay, from there, I think we also need to shape the head a little bit as well. Okay. Okay. Couple of things here. First of all, I am going to try and use the same principle for like a lot of these shiny parts. So yeah, kind of like that. So maybe from over this section here, I could just do a little bit of a wet wash. And increase the brush size. There we go. And over here, wet wash that again. Then kneaded eraser, increase the brush size a little bit. Soft eraser for this, or actually blended it out a little bit, it would also work. Blending it like that. And soft eraser for this. No, that doesn't look right. Yeah, I think it looks best when it's got like this almost choppy look to it. I suppose that'll go for this part up here too. What the? Oh dear, was I on the wrong layer again? Hang on. Oh, I was on an even... Oh, okay, so I was also on another layer then. Okay, now we're working, okay. Okay, now it works. Control E, there we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's gonna go for most of this as well. I've noticed a lot that like whenever I try to use a painterly style or blending style, it just does not suit my taste. And you know, it's one thing if I'm doing it for somebody and they're paying me money, but like it's another thing if it's just kind of what I'm making, you know. I prefer to do something that I can feel more comfortable in than, you know, recklessly challenge myself. Because challenging yourself is how you grow. I will say that much. But doing it recklessly is also just going to produce bad results. And since you are technically making this for somebody else, you do need to be a little bit mindful of that. Or, you know, don't be. I'm not the boss of you, but that's how I try to approach these Artfight things, you know? Okay, so if this part was a shadow, then this part would be the light. Okay, we'll workshop that. We'll work on that a little bit. Okay, then over here. Alright, select color gamut, this part here. Alright, let's change this up. So we'll want to have it kind of at that amount, but maybe a bit more luminous. Maybe? Alright, so this yellow's around here, and this is around here. So maybe we actually want to take it back a couple steps on the hue scale. You know, maybe a little bit closer to green. How's that? Definitely shows up a little better, but I'm not feeling it. I think around there would be good. Okay, so, and then maybe another bit of shadow back here. A little bit of a dip at the end there to kind of give the cable some 3D feeling. And maybe I can also change the color of this part to be dark. I think that would make it fit a little bit better. Okay, yeah, I think I'm feeling it now. I think I'm definitely kind of getting the hang of this coloring style. Getting a little bit more of a knack for it. That's good. I always wanted to try and be a little bit more adventurous with the colors that I use, because I usually end up using the tone gradient or whatever at the end anyway. So I wanted to try and do something a little bit more challenging with these. Okay, there we go. There we go. No, that's not gonna work. Okay, yeah, I think just having it like... Okay, yeah, no, just not having a shadow there would be the best decision I could take. I might be able to do something if I use a texture there, though. So I'll have to look into that. Okay. And right here. I wonder what kind... Did you guys ever figure that, like... I figure that, like... If you were to take a bite out of an old school mouse cursor, it would taste a lot like candy corn. That's my idea of it. I don't know why, but I've always felt that. You know, I feel like this thing looks like it's high in fructose corn syrup. I feel like the only other option might be to say that it tastes like candy hearts, but I definitely imagine it's like got some sweet flavor to it. You know, I don't imagine it's like sour or bitter. Gradient erase. There we go. Okay. Over here. Over here. Wait, no, I'd have to erase this part since that orange is part of the original color scheme. Okay. Then erase this vector line here. Okay. Alright, now we can probably work on the flame details up here. Okay, so what I think I mistook was that maybe the base of the color should not be this orange, but maybe this kind of like bright red. And then it's got some other orange highlights here and there. I think maybe that was my mistaken perception there. Because then you can see that like it's got all these different parts of like the orange and the blue and the magenta there. Yeah, I think I can do that. Huh. It's got the weirdest feeling of deja vu. Let's see. Okay, so interestingly enough, it looks like almost like it's creating its own little fire shape in here. So I'm going to increase the brush size a little bit. Yeah. I wouldn't say that it's following it exactly, but it's almost like it's got a little kind of fire JPEG in there of its own. Okay. Wait, I'm on the wrong layer. Damn it. I should start this on a new layer just in case, so... I feel like that's the most responsible thing I could do. Okay, then over here... use hard eraser. Okay. Yeah, I need to increase the size of the eraser a little bit more as well, because I feel like that'll give it a bit more oomph. There we go. And then you can see that the magenta kind of very closely follows the orange in terms of like direction. Yeah, I think these tiny wisps of fire give it the right idea, because you can see that they've got the cyan. It's almost like a repeating pattern. So they've got the orange, the purple, and the cyan, almost in equal measure. Or I suppose it'll be magenta. Well, it could also be that I'm just thinking a little too hard about it. But I maintain that there's no such thing when it comes to artistic interpretation. People make cool designs like this in order to make you think. You know, it's like, why would they put this much effort into it if they don't want you to notice at least a little bit about how goddamn cool it was, right? Thinking about how it'll work in like a 3D space and all that, I feel like that's part of it also. Why did it not select these parts here? Hang on, I think we might have a problem. Actually, no, that should be fine, probably. Okay, then you can see that we've got like the yellow, okay, the blue, purple, orange, cyan, magenta, naranja. What I never understood is why so many English words took the loan word for green, verde, but never like the loan word for orange. Because naranja is such a pleasant word to say. Naranja feels like naranja feels like somebody baked you a plate of cookies. Orange, I don't feel anything when you say orange to me. You know, there's nothing there. It doesn't have any bite to it. It's not a fun word. Okay. Yeah, and you can see here that it's got a little couple of wisps here and there. And then we kind of go back, pick this red color, select this layer here, and on top of all that, we're gonna kind of create our own little fire effects. Alright, so first of all, okay, so I think the way to do this is to shrink the selection a little bit. Invert, fill that, flip it to the bottom layer. Maybe even more actually, hang on. What am I doing? Hang on. Oh, it's already been inverted. Hang on, hang on, hang on. No wonder it looked weird. Alright, hang on. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Most of the time. Okay. Kind of keep going a little bit. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay. Yeah, but basically at every juncture where like the colors split off, I noticed there's almost like a little bit of red there, so I think I'm going to try to recreate that effect. Hang on, I'm going to erase this part here as well. Okay. Here we go. And I feel like we could use a couple of the cyan highlights here and there. Okay, then over here. There we go. I think that's a pretty faithful recreation. You know, I think I did a decent job. Maybe I can like spice it up a little bit even. Nah, that's not the tangle with forces that I don't reckon with. Okay, then what else do we have left to do? I'm not entirely sure. I think mostly what's left to do is just some crunchy wrists. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I am going to put all these in a folder, as I am wont to do. Yeah, just stuff them all in there. Copy and paste this so I can mess around with it freely, without fear or anything else of that nature. For that, okay, copy and paste that, put that on top. Alright, so hue, yeah, just sync that down a couple things. Saturation, max that out. And luminosity, almost like set that to rock bottom. Okay, then... Okay, cool. That created the kind of effect that I was hoping for. Oh, right, and you also need to do the Gaussian blur. Okay, that should do it. Yeah, that softened it up a little bit too. Okay, then also right here. Now, as to kind of give the button a little bit of depth, there we go. Alright. Then from there, I think we need to make the background still. But I think we can figure that out after we... should I do the tone thing before or after the background? I think after the background would probably be better. So what I'm thinking is we kind of have this pattern right here. Oh yeah, this is a neat party trick that I learned the other day. So, very excited to show you this actually. Alright, so I've learned that you can take basically any layer that you've got. So say this burning hair here, this burning effect right here, right? You can actually convert that into a, what do you call, a image material layer. Now, usually that'll just make it much harder to handle, but it also gives you access to tiling. Yeah, here we go. Kind of like that. So the good news is, if you tile that enough, hang on, I need to find some interesting way to do this. Okay, I think like maybe this would be good, or maybe even, okay, yeah, I think like this. Yeah, I found a new neat hack for this, so I've been eager to try this out a little. Alright, so rasterize that, then distort this with something weird, so maybe... Alright, so maybe fisheye lens. No. Alright, how about... wave? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, now we're cooking with gasoline. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put like quite a few ice train warning tags on this. Okay. Okay, and then maybe... I actually really like how this effect came out, but maybe I'm gonna... But maybe we can do like one more thing to it. So how about a twirl? Alright, so maybe twist it more. Maybe some more. Increase the radius. Okay, 10. I've never understood what some of the stuff in the... Oh, I see. Specify area, radius, and shape. Oh, I see. Okay, so maybe I want to decrease the radius a little bit. There we go. Just a little bit less. And what I'm thinking is maybe I can get one of those pictures of a blue screen. Do I have my browser thing open? Nope. Okay, good. So blue screen. Then all licenses. Public domain. Here we go. I'm so glad that I figured out how to search up public domain stuff on DuckDuckGo. It's been a real lifesaver for me. Alright, so then kind of increase that next. Oh my god, there's so many colors, I love it. Okay. In all seriousness though, we need to do something about the... I like colors, don't get me wrong, I love colors, but there is such a thing as too many colors. I feel like we might have hit that point. Rather than too many colors, it's just that the colors aren't distinct enough from each other. So let's fix that. It's gradient map time. I actually don't know. I recently figured... Oh, yeah. Another thing that I found was that I downloaded a gradient... what do you call it? Something... This kind of gradient pack, which has been also very nice. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I think I like that. Let me try this then. Yeah, let's try to apply that also to the finished product. Alright, tonal correction, gradient map. Yeah, okay, so maybe something like that. It's kind of strong, isn't it? Okay, actually, I think I like this. Yeah, this will do. Oh, shoot, I forgot the... Hang on. I forgot the text here. Well, I don't know if it's text, but there's some kind of design on the pointer, on the clickers here. Okay, wait, hang on. I've got an idea. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going with this, so... I'm glad that I learned to write Chinese a little bit, because at times like this, I know that my Chinese writing looks terrible, so I can just write random characters that I remember out of nowhere, and that'll work pretty well, because there's like... I really respect people who can read bubble writing in other languages, because it's fucked as it is on English. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, and then we can just fill that out here so it's a little bit more even. And then we can go this way. Perfect. And for this one, we can do more or less the same. Just a little bit, though. You're not going to be able to see much of it. Okay. I think we are good to go. Yeah. I'm not forgetting anything, am I? I'm not forgetting another huge ribbon, am I? Lordy, that was embarrassing. The one time that happened, I tell you. No, I've got everything. Alright, cool. Groovy. Let me just put my signature on this and we can call it a night. It's about time, too. Okay. Alright. I am very happy with how this came out. I'm really proud of how the background came out as well. I feel like it's very cohesive somehow. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun drawing this character. So yeah, go check out Wari.os on... Hang on. Yeah, go check out Wari.os operating system. They do a lot of cool streams, they have a very cool avatar, and they are very cool in general. Alright, let's go back to the just chatting screen. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whee! Okay. Wait, I'm actually way too big here. Alright, I think that's gonna do it for tonight. Yeah, once... Wait, today's Tuesday. Thursday, I believe. Pretty sure. Yeah, Thursday. Thursday we'll be doing another Artfight thing. So come hang by again, and thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it, and I hope you all have a lovely evening. Bye.